But why did that sort of anti-religious, pro-science conflict narrative emerge then around, I suppose, especially around the time of Huxley and co? There was a sense in which, was it a feeling that Darwinism now needed to trump any idea of design in biology? What was going on?
I think this is a very complex thing. It's a very interesting thing because you have, going back further, you have Newton and his wonderful laws that led people to think that the universe is like a great machine and that is determined to run on these fixed laws. And that tended to push God right to the background to a kind of deism. God started it, the machine is like clockwork, it's ticking away. And of course, inevitably, especially with the rise of the French intellectuals and the Enlightenment in France, where they discovered that the best way of disagreeing with people was cut their heads off and you stop the disagreement, was an incipient atheism that was fueled massively by a corrupt church. So a lot of sociological factors were playing there. But then there was the rise of an elite of scientists, of whom Huxley was one. He was dead against these amateur clergymen who sat in lovely benefices out in the country in Oxfordshire here and studied butterflies and worms and this kind of stuff. Some of them were very learned people, you see, and Wilberforce was one of those. But Huxley wanted a professional scientific elite. He wanted to turn the churches into temples to the goddess of wisdom, Sophia, and all this kind of thing. And so he pushed that end. And the debate with Wilberforce was skewed in terms of reportage really by Huxley and his friends. Now, I have read the whole of what Wilberforce wrote, and the amazing thing is that Wilberforce himself states that he is not going to argue against Darwin on the basis of the Christian worldview. That's what he explicitly refuses to do. He said, I'm going to do it on the basis of science. And Darwin's comment was, he has uncommonly cleverly pointed out some of the weaknesses in my theory. So reports, there are very few that exist, and they say that they roughly had equals in what they did. But again, Colin Russell, in his article, says, you cannot use this to drive a conflict narrative. Far more complex than that. And very much Huxley was driving, let's get rid of these amateur vicars who were scientists.